Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop review. This is part 230. Um, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that loved my video that I did on the difference between original pressings and reissues. Got a lot of love for that. Shout out to everybody that showed me love on that Don't Pull It joint that I did for Kelsey. Based out of he's from Detroit originally, but then he moved to Cali in the Bay Area. But he used to live down here in Florida. That's how I met him and shit like that. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody that showed mad support and love and the comments. So I definitely appreciate y'all. All right, so the album that I'm gonna be reviewing today is Onyx with their second album. All We Got Is Us, released in 1995. You guys should know who Onyx are. I did a review on Back the Fuck Up, their first album back last month. This is about a month ago that I did it. So I've gotten a lot of good reviews on that. So shortly after the release of that album, in like '94, Big DS had left the group. I guess creative differences, kind of thing. I read a little interviews. They saying like they always felt like he was kind of whack, but they always had love for him, but he just kind of didn't add on to the group. He didn't really do much. You know what I mean? So he had like a verse here and there, but then he kind of went to do his own thing, his solo, do a solo career, and unfortunately, back in 2003, I believe he died of cancer, mad young too. I think he was like 31 at the time, so which is kind of crazy. I'm 34, so which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Rest in peace to that brother, and rest in peace to X1 too as well. But yeah, man. So '94, Big DS left the group, and also Onyx. They kind of had not. I wouldn't say they had a falling out with Shy. I'm not sure if they did, but they had like creative differences, that kind of thing. Because I remember like reading interviews that because when Shy Skills first started making beats, his beats were like very jazzy, kind of like very Large Professor, Tribe Called Quest esque type beats, but they wanted this shit more dark, that kind of thing. So that's why the beats on Back the Fuck Up sound the way they sounded because of that. Um, you know what I mean? But then on this album, they didn't have him on the album. Which I'll get into in a little bit. 94, 95 was a pretty busy year for Onyx, specifically Fragile Star and Sticky Fingers. This is like when they started doing their whole they started whole out well. Yeah, I was gonna say they started their acting career, but they already did with the movie Strapped in '93, but but that was like more like an independent film. But in '94 they started filming, which ended up coming in '95. Both Clockers, which is a very underrated movie, and the movie The Addiction. But that was directed by Abel Ferrara. Dope director. He's done a lot of classics like King of New York. Frank White, Christopher Walken. Classic movie with hood movie, gangster movie. Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel was another dope flick. Um, The Addiction, which they were also featured on in the movie The Addiction. I had to throw it out there. So they were featured in that movie. And The Flatlines was also in that movie too. So I had to throw it out there. And countless other movies that they did, and TV shows like Sticky Fingers was in New York Undercover. He played a Khalil. I believe the name of that episode was called "You Get No Respect." It's funny enough because I had contacted the administrators of Onyx Domain because I love that song so much, and I was like, "Yo, is there any way that they had it saved in the archives?" Because I know they have like a whole bunch of unreleased songs that they recorded between then and then to like now and shit like that. And it's like, nah, they only recorded it for the show. I was like, fuck, yo, that would have been so dope. He had like it in the stash, but it is what it is with that. But yeah, so and then he started working on this album, and he dropped this album. Um, the big difference with this album is the production and the people that's done the production as well, which I'll get into. So yeah, so we got this album. That's what the album looks like. Kind of has like a blue steel Onyx logo. You know what I mean? That blue steel very fucking dope. Kind of sets the tone of the album. That real gritty, hardcore lyrics that what you gonna expect. So it's fucking dope. I love that. I love the fact that they don't have their face, cause it kind of gives you kind of like, they say like a picture screams 1,000 words, and this is definitely a true statement. And I didn't know this until today. I swear to God, is this saying right here, and it says, "Homo bloodshed and fears, and for souvenir there's tears." That's fucking dope. Homo bloodshed and fears, and for souvenirs there's tears. That's fucking dope. I love that. Open it up. That's what the CD looks like. Kind of like a cement, like a dark cement gray. Pretty dope. You know what I mean? Kind of represents the streets. Pretty dope. And then you see like a abandoned building. You know what I mean? Apartments and shit. Back when New York was New York. That old New York. You know what I mean? Fucking dope. And then in the back, you see them like in that apartment, abandoned building. So I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, open it up. Show you guys what the inside looks like. Gotta excuse the condition of the case. I bought this back in 2002, which I'll explain towards the end of the video. Got the track listing, the producers, and that kind of thing. See Onyx right here, pretty dope. As you can see, like I said, Big DS by that time had left the group to do his solo career. All right, pretty cool. Yeah. All right, that's what the back looks like. Rest in peace to Sean P, by the way. Just had to throw that out there. Alright, there's 3 singles of the album. The 3 singles of the album are Live Niggaz, which was the first single, Last Days, and All We Got Is Us. Those are the 3 singles of the album. Although All We Got Is Us was Walk in New York. Those are the singles of the album. The only reason why I call them singles is because they have videos for them. So that's the only reason why I call it that. But Last Days was pretty much like the biggest single of the album. It's like the most popular song on this album. You know what I mean? Especially everybody knows about the 8 Mile. Everybody knows that. So that kind of thing. The producers in the album, honestly, it's Onyx themselves and Adolf the Assassin, aka Aguilar. Yes, the same Aguilar that's worked with Dipset, Purple City, did his own career. He's worked with Sean P, you know what I mean? Very underrated producer, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, and those are the producers of the album. So pretty much Adolf the Assassin, Aguilar, the same person. Onyx themselves, and I think Jam Master Jay did a joint on here too. Alright. No, it was just Onyx and Aguilar that did the production. Alright, so you know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks as usual. Track 1. Oh, and another thing too that I want to bring up too. Around this time they came up with aliases. So Federal Star came up as Never, and then Suave ended up becoming Sun C or Sunny Caesar, the dark-skinned brother, the dark-skinned bald-headed brother. So, which he stuck on with. So I'm glad he changed that name compared to Suave, you know what I mean? So I just had to throw it out there. Alright, so, I'll get down and go through some of the tracks. Alright, so track 1, Life or Death skit. It's a skit, it's just Sticky Fingers, playing a split personality, trying to commit suicide, that kind of thing. Tell him like, yo, you ain't shit, like you ain't gonna live forever, that kind of thing, over like a very dark, ominous beat, which kind of sets the tone of the album. You kind of get what you can, you kind of know, you kind of getting to know what to. Sorry. You know what you're getting into when you listen to this album, the intro at least. It's telling like, pull the trigger, you ain't shit, you ain't worth shit, you ain't gonna live forever. And then, he ended up killing himself, shooting himself and shit, like committing suicide. You know what I mean? But was just kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that beat, was also used later on, which I'll explain later. But that beat definitely has like something that I could see like Flatline is usually on their first album Under Satan's Authority was another dope album, which I did a review on, but I would like to revisit and do it again because I don't know, some of my earlier album reviews I didn't really care for, but it's just how I throw that out there. So we're gonna go to track 2, Last Days. This was the second single of the album. Dope way to start the album. Love this shit. Love the video for it too. Pretty much the story of this song is that what the song is about is pretty much them talking about New World Order, the Illuminati, that kind of thing. People talk about people using chips and putting chips in your body and all that stuff, that kind of thing. Now people talk about today, but they were talking about that in '95. You know what I mean? So they were definitely way ahead of their time. Sons of Mans was talking about that. Mobb Deep was talking about that, but they don't really get the recognition. When they think of it. Talk about like Jay-Z and all these other cats that talk about Illuminati, Lil Wayne, but again these cats, Sons of Man, Mobb Deep, they were like the first to do that, or one of the first to do that. So I had to throw that out there. But yeah, Last Day is fucking dope. Like I said, I love that. They talk about and also they also talk about living in a police state, which we all live right now, because the way, especially if you live in New York, how New York is a police state, that kind of thing. Like they have cameras everywhere, Big Brother and all that. They were talking about that in '95, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And just the overall paranoia of the of the people, and they talk about that. I love the line by Frezzo when he said, "Changing the behavior to splitting late." Yeah, sorry, changing their behavior to spitting phases. That's outrageous. Smoke roaches hopeless. We want lazy sofas and sculptures. Lady sofas who fuck us. Fuck Full House and Royal Flushes. Like he killed that shit. And that's one thing I've always said. I've always felt that Fredro Starr was like the lyricist of the group. You know what I mean? A lot of people say Sticky. I've always felt like Fredro was like the lyricist of the group. Sticky Fingers is pretty much like, I won't say hype man, but he was like the energy of the group. You know what I mean? So, but he was lyrical, but again, like he was like the amp, the party amp, he amps you up and shit like that, kind of like the hype man, you know what I mean? But he's lyrical, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. So that was track 2, Last Day. Love the beat for it, you know what I mean? Very dope, the drums, everything about it. And again, once again, that beat, this instrumental was used on 8 Mile in the classic, battle between Rabbit, aka Eminem, versus Free World and shit like that. So had to throw that out there. Track 3, All We Got Is Us, Evil Streets, fucking dope song. Dope beat. That's I believe it was like the third or fourth single of I think it was like the final single of the album. But very, very dope song. Love it. Love the video. Very dark and sinister. That features Panama PI. He's on the chorus, that kind of thing. I love the line by Sunny Season when he says, "It's concrete combat where I'm at, a crime-covered city where there's no time for pity. We coming from the village of the unprivileged, blood-soaked bills through murder actions, transactions all illegal. I smell the cheap like a beagle." Whew, killed that shit. There's also a remix version of that with Method Man. Fucking dope. I wish that version was on the album too. At least as a bonus single, a bonus track or something like that. But you can find that song on Cold Case Files, Volume 1, I believe. So definitely check that out. I did show you guys that, but that album's like kind of hard to find. It's like out of print, so it goes for a little bit of money. So if you can find it, definitely pick it up. But there's always YouTube, or you can download it digitally, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you like the first 3. If you like the first 3 Onyx albums, then I highly recommend you guys getting that. So, but yeah, that was track 3. All We Got Is Us. Track 4, Snatchaz. Fucking love that song. One of my favorite songs of the album. To me, I've always felt like that song was like the sequel to Stick and Move. this is like the sequel. This is like the dark sequel. Kind of like I've always felt like, you know, like kind of like Stick and Move was like Friday the 13th Part 1. Snatchaz is Part 2. You know what I mean? So for all my horror movie buffs, y'all know what I'm talking about. So had to throw that out there. Love the beat, very sinister, very dope. Again, Snatchaz, like I said, you know, just talking about being a stick-up kid, just doing what they got to do to get by. Whether it's like, you know, robbing people, sticking people up and things like that. So, just like the desperation that you can hear in the music of trying to get by, you know what I mean? Like they're not getting any good job opportunities, so they gotta rob, kill, and they'll go to extremes just to try to get by. And then that's what pretty much what that song is about. I love the line by Fredro Starr when he says, "Did time behind bars, riding in stolen cars, 40 deuce flicks, posing hard, rolling large, pickpockets I picked, pistol packers to bit smackers, bit smackers, back of the alley attackers, waiting for the crackers, smugglers, muggers in the gutters with rug cutters." Woo! Sun C when he said, stand and look out, main struck out to keep from struggling, embezzling, extorting, manslaughter, assaulting. Mass shootings, enough stabbings, gangs feuding, and females boosting for child support of self-done abortions. Damn, that's crazy. Sticky when he says, "Now I just got off probation, so with me, congratulations, but I'm still under investigation for a psychic evaluation, facing incarceration and isolation over some color discrimination. So I need your participation in Caucasian assassination. Time is wasting. It's a sticky situation. Trying to stop our reproduction to kill off our population and Illinois exaggeration. So whoever's in association with the nigga retaliation." Lance, or I need your total cooperation. Yeah, fucking dope. Greg Valentine of All City, which I did a review on their Metropolis Gold album. I did a review on that. Definitely check that out. When I first heard that album, I didn't really like it that much, but I revisited it. It's not as bad as I thought it was when I first heard it, but it's a decent album. I was kind of expecting it to be like this album production wise, because some of the songs was recorded around this time. So, later on in the late '90s, and it came out in '98. So I was a little disappointed with the album. You know what I mean? But I think at the time they were under MCA Records, so which they couldn't. They really. I don't even think they had like creative control like that. So. So they had to do that whole follow the bad boy route, that kind of thing. So that's that with that. So yeah, dope song. And there is also a part 2 to this song, which features Smoothe the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, and DV Alias Khrist. Shout out to DV Alias Khrist. Cool cat, man. Cool dad. Very humble, easy to talk to. You know what I mean? He's a cool cat right there. That's also, I believe, was also featured on Cold Case Files Volume 1. The beat is pretty much the same, but it's a little bit more up tempo. Like the pitch is a little bit more higher, so it's a little bit more up tempo. Not happy, but not as dark. You know what I mean? It's a little bit and more fast paced. So I just had to throw that out there. So that was track 4, Snatchaz. Track 5, Shout. Fucking love that song. Actually, that song was pretty much my introduction to this album, because I remember, when I should go on Amazon, you just listen to the quick play, listen to like the 30-second clips of the songs that you want to hear, and Shout was the first song I heard, and I was like, yo, I had to go get this album, man. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, fucking love that song. Love it. I've always felt like this song was like a sequel to Slam, it's like a sequel, like a follow up to Slam. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, man, fucking dope song right there. Love to me, it should have been a single, but I understand they didn't use it as a single because they didn't want to be pigeonholed as the Slam dudes. You know what I mean? So I understand why they didn't choose that as a single, but to me it could have been a single. But I definitely understand why they didn't do that. but I love the beat. Yeah, man, love the line by Sticky when he says, "Amnesia couldn't make me forget where I came from, and even if I left the slum, I'll still be a hoodlum. Cause good good things come to those who take them." Love that. It's that Brooklyn shit right there. Fucking love that. Federal Star when he says, "I'm in effect like Rick checks, and you a tech without the clip." There goes my rhyme again. Pass me my Heineken. Where's the weed? I need it. It's my vitamin. Love that. Fucking dope. Again, there was a remix version, but it's a little bit more fast paced. You know what I mean, and the drums are different, and uses a different part of the sample, that kind of thing. So, say Hubert Laws sample, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, very fucking dope. All right, then we got track 6. "I Murder You" is a skit. It's just you just hear Federal Star saying, "I murder you, I'ma murder you." Kind of like a couple of times, like over a beat. That song ended up becoming a full length song by Gang Green, which is a group that was affiliated by Onyx, which consisted of excuse me, Federal Star's brother Hussein, X1, rest in peace to him, Chop, and Syph. There's also a video for it too, which I'll post down in the description box so you guys can check it out. But yeah, very dope. I kind of wish they did an album around this time. It would have been dope. Like 96, 97, around that time with production like that. You know what I mean? So loving that, that kind of thing. Then we go to track 7, "Better Off Dead." Fucking love that song. They pretty much made a song off the Life or Death beat that was used on the intro. They did a whole song on that. I fucking love that. Love the song. One of my favorite songs of the album. It has like a really dark hardcore feel to it. Again, it sounds like something Flatlines would have used on their album. Fucking oh my god, they would have if they were featured on this song, that would have been perfect, man. It would have been like the perfect song, but that wasn't the case. Love the line by Sticky when he says, "I ain't got no smile. I was abused as a child. My mom's gave birth to a crazy ass wild one. Bust out her pussy with a motherfucking gun and started talking slang. Even joined the gang in suicide slums. I told jumps to the bum. I sold jumps to the bums. I wait I wait a hand to hand pulling in crumbs." Fucking love that. Fucking dope, man. Yeah, it's just I love the beat for that shit. That shit is so ill. So that was track 7, "Better Off Dead." Track 8, "Live Niggaz," which was the first single of the album. That song was actually featured on the documentary, The Show, which is a very dope documentary. It's pretty much like backstage, but but in the mid '90s, but not as much like vulgarity, with the women and things like that. So like that kind of thing. So you're not gonna really see that. It's like more on the when everybody's together, nobody had egos and everybody's all getting along and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, "Live Niggaz," pretty dope track. It's a dope track, but it's not the. It wasn't like the most successful single of the album. You know what I mean? So, pretty much "Last Days" was pretty much like the biggest single of the album. And another thing too, there's talk that Adolf the Assassin was the one that made the beat for "Last Days." I don't know how true that is. I know he did say that in an interview with Doggy Diamonds, but I don't know, because I know he did had his hands on production on the album. But I don't know. But there's a lot of talk. Like Federal Star was the one that said that he made the beat. Then Aguilar said that he made the beat. Is like I don't know. It's like we don't know who. I would like for both of them to sit together and just talk about the making of that song. That would be fucking dope. So that was "Live Niggaz," pretty dope joint right there. Track 9, "Punk Motherfuckers," pretty dope track. Is a skit on this album. It's a skit, but it's actually a full length song of the album, which was actually featured on Cold Cases Volume 2, which was a digital only release, but I got it on CD. I bought it off Amazon, that kind of thing. So I don't even think it's like an official release. But I have it anyways. Just had to get it. Pretty dope song right there. It's just all three members spitting 4 bars, and then in between those bars, they're just talking shit. You know what I mean? And then pretty fucking dope. Fucking love that shit. But like, definitely check out the full length version of that song, which I'll post all that stuff in the description box. Um, that was track 9, motherfuckers. Track 10, Most Def. Fucking love this song. This is possibly my favorite song of the album. I love this shit so much. Love the beat for that shit. Very, very fucking dope. Love the line by Sticky Fingers when he said, "See, first of all, we most definitely the number one with a bullet, Billboard category, and I got ESP. You're barking up the wrong tree, but I'm not crazy. Don't flatter me, or I'll get arrested for assault and battery." Love that. You're talking that shit, man. Love that, man. Fucking love that shit. Just that beat alone is fucking dope. And I actually found that sample. I actually have that sample on record. It's I want to say it's a Hubert Law sample, but I don't remember the song. It's been a while, but I found it like years ago, so it's gotta like retract and see where I got it from. But yeah, man. Track 10, Most Def, fucking love that shit right there. Track 11, Act Up, was a skit. It's just a skit. It's just Sticky Fingers, it's time to act up. That kind of thing over and over and over a beat. You know what I mean? It was okay. It wasn't too crazy. It was over an ominous beat, like a dark bass beat. Again, something I could hear like Flatliners rapping over to, you know, that kind of thing. Track 12, Ghetto Mentality. Features Panama PI and All City. It's not a bad song, but it's not my favorite song for the album. I think, to me, in my personal opinion, it was kind of like the weakest song of the album. My personal opinion. The lyrics were dope, but it's just like I wasn't a fan of the beat. You know, the beat didn't really do much. So it's like a song that I tend to skip over. So it's not my go-to song. You know what I mean? So just had to throw that out there. So that was track 11, track 12, Ghetto Mentality. Then you got track 13, Two Wrongs. Fucking love that shit right there. To me, I've always felt like it was like a sequel to Last Days. It's pretty much talk about the same thing. Where they talk about New World Order and Illuminati and all that stuff. Fucking love that joint right there. Not much to talk about. I didn't write anything on. I didn't write any lyrics or anything like that. But yeah, pretty dope track. I fucks with it. I love the beat for that. Then you got track 14, which is a skit. It's called Maintain. It's called a skit. It's just, all the brothers, Onyx and everybody in the crew. I think all cities in the skit too, just talking, it's giving shout outs and that kind of thing, to all the people that they fuck with, the people that the loved ones and the ones that died that's in prison. It's like, shots on all the criminals, maintain, that kind of thing, over like a smooth jazzy beat. So nothing too crazy, nothing to really talk about, but I thought it was pretty cool. Just doing shout outs, that kind of thing. And they got track 15, Walk in New York. Fucking love that song. Love the video for that shit. It's mad gritty. It's just them, just representing New York to the fullest, man. I think it was like kind of like their answer to. It was like their answer to the whole East Coast West Coast beef. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what I got from that song. Just them representing New York City to the fullest. I love the line by Fredro where he says, "Fuck that, I'm the nasty native New Yorker, the full of shit talker, the dark street walker, sign of the time stalker, bringing it to reality. This is for my niggas in NYC." Love that. There's a video for it, like I said before, very dope. And there's also a demo version of that song that was produced by Jam Master Jay, which is also featured on Cold Case Volume 2. So that's pretty much it, guys. Man, my overall thoughts on this album. This is a 5-night classic in my personal opinion. In this album, they definitely stepped their game up. Fucking love this album, both production-wise and both lyric-wise, especially Fredro. He fucking killed it in the lyrics, man. Sticky definitely did his thing too, man. But yeah, he fucking killed that shit. Fucking, I just love the overall dark feel of the album. You know what I mean? And the story with this album, like I said before. And by the way, I forgot to mention too. Around this time, they had dropped a comic with Marvel. They collabed with Marvel Comics. and they did a like a kind of like a short-lived comic by Onyx. It was called Fight, and they actually made a song for that, which I'll post in the description box too. I forgot to throw that out there too. But anyways, getting back to this album. So I remember when I first heard Shout, I had to go look for that shit. So I went to Music Factory, and they didn't have the CD. They only had the cassette, which I have right here. I remember I got it right here. Recipe to Music Factory in Jamaica Avenue. It was on Jamaica. It was on 162nd and Jamaica Avenue. But yeah, anyways, getting back to this album, I had to get this shit. That's how much I wanted this album. So I got it, man. And I lost the case years ago. And I also forgot to show this. I forgot I had it too. I had the cassette version of Back the Fuck Up. Yeah, as you can see, still got it. You know what I mean? Back the Fuck Up. You know what I mean? I actually forgot I actually had that. I should have showed that in the Back the Fuck Up review, but at the time I didn't know I had it. So, but yeah, man. So I remember getting this shit for like $9.99, and so I remember a couple weeks later, saving my lunch money, because I remember I used to get $25 a week, so $5 a day. So sometimes like I wouldn't even eat lunch. I would like bring food, my own food, whatever, to school, and I would save money just to just buy CDs, man. And that's what I used to do my my early teens, man. So that's what I used to do, and to this day I still do that, But obviously I have a job, I have my own place, and that kind of thing. So I'm able to buy CDs and things like that. But even though CDs right now are becoming extinct in a sense, you know what I mean? It's like becoming scarce. But anyways, I remember a couple weeks later, I actually ended up getting this album. I went to Green Acres Mall, and they had the Wiz at the time. The Wiz, which was still in business. I don't think it's in business anymore. I think it went out of business, by the way. But I actually bought this. I think it was like $15.99. I bought that shit. I bought this, and this is the one I had since then, man. So I bought that, I believe, back in 2002. So bought it, and that's why you see how cracked it is and things like that. Yeah, and you see like little, but that's from years and years and years and shit like that. But yeah, have this album. But again, to me, this is a classic album. Is a very popular album, especially by the hip hop heads. It definitely has a cult following. A lot of people, when they think of Onyx, they always talk about Back the Fuck Up, but they never talk about this album. And that's because this album doesn't really have a lot of radio friendly, no filler tracks or anything like that. You know what I mean? No radio friendly songs that you play and that kind of thing. And this album has like a more serious tone. It deals with like paranoia, urban decay, problems in the hood, that kind of thing. It's a little political, with the Illuminati stuff, the New World Order, talk and things like that, man. But I highly recommend you guys checking this album out, man. And even the songs that didn't make the album, man, are fucking dope, man. Like there's unreleased songs that you can find on the first two Cold Case Files, which I'll post in the description box, that kind of thing. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that review like I did. I love this fucking album. Let me know what you guys think about this album, man. This album, whew, I'm just gonna say it like this. This is their magnum opus, in my personal opinion. This is their best album. This is their best album. I fucking love this album. Again, they stepped it up. And I'm glad that they didn't work with Shy Skills, because if they worked with Shy Skills, I don't think it would have had the same effect that it does now. So I'm kind of glad they did the production themselves, you know what I mean? So very impressive, you know what I mean? And these guys, they were like, what, in the mid-20s, like early to mid-20s, making this album. So that's very impressive, you know what I mean? So, and I remember on Instagram a couple weeks back, I think like last month, Fredro Starr posted a pic of him and some dude. He was in front of the SP1200, like he was looking back like this, and you know what I'm saying, he about to cook up a beat or some shit like that, man. I would have loved to be there, man, during the making of this album. But yeah, fucking dope shit right here. So let me know what you guys think, man. Do you love the album? Do you hate it? Let me know. Fucking love this album, man. Woo! Come on, man. That's how much I love this album. Fucking dope. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more. Y'all be easy. Peace.